let's get started. We are in day one of the Social Start School webinar. I am really quickly going to make sure that my sound is able for people to actually hear me, and then we're going to get started. So this session is going to be about an hour. The first session is all about mindset, so just get ready to listen and talk. I do hope that you have completed the pre-homework. Please check your emails for the pre-homework. If you haven't completed the pre-homework as of yet, you still have about one more day because the meat of that will be tomorrow. So, una memento. I am just making sure as long as I can hear this. Yes, it seems like I can. Okay, so as I said, Social Start School, we're going to get started. I am going to now share my screen, so all this loveliness is going to go away. And I guess the slides, you can follow along. They are also located in your homework along with the pre-homework. Um, so let's get started. Um, so we're here, and we're here, and I am going to share. I am sharing. Perfect. We are in Social Media Start School with Starting Bossy. Session one is all about the mindset. So I really want to make sure that you can not only hear me, but you can also follow along with the slides. So I'm Sadea. Hello. I help people start their businesses by showing them the steps that it takes. I do that through courses, coaching, and consulting. That's my thing, the three C's. I have tons of courses over on my website, startingbossy.com. I'm sorry. I also do group coaching through either my Facebook or through programs that I launched throughout the year. And lastly, consulting. I've been a business consultant now for about going on 6 years. So I basically created this webinar and class because entrepreneurs need to know how to build strong foundation pages to attract the followers that they want. I find that it's great to start off, and a lot of us, we start our social media because we have personal social medias and we figure like, oh, I know what I'm doing. So we kind of just go on and start these pages, but we don't really think about how strong our pages are and how they're going to appeal to the rest of our crowds. And then B, the information that's already out there by the experts or served by people, it's really focused on how to grow and not really focused on those of us that are really interested in just getting started out. So I'm going to basically teach you 4 easy steps, right? 4 easy steps on how to get the perfect social media pages that will not only allow you to grow a following, but also allow you to make sales. And as I said, those 4 easy steps, I've broken them up into 4 sessions throughout this 4-day webinar. As a reminder, this webinar is only held once per business quarter. So we are now in February. This is being held for quarter one. The next one for quarter two will not be held until May. So make sure that if you're not catching the live free webinars, that you will have to end up paying for the replay if you want this information. So 4 easy steps. One, the mindset, right? What it's all about on how do we get ready, prepare for actually being a social media marketer, because social media marketer is a job. Like, people get paid 50 to 60,000 every year to actually do this. You, as the business owner, you now have to infiltrate yourself and learn that job, right? So session two is all about the setup. Session three is about the content. So we're going to go over what should you post, how should you post it. And session four is all about the strategy and the growth. So I hope you stick around throughout all 4 sessions. And I'm really excited. So let's get started with session one, the mindset. During this mindset, we're going to cover these things: why you need social media, setting your social media goals, the buyer thought process behind people that's actually on social media, how to choose the right platform for your business, and how not to depend on social media. Each one of these points are very, very important, and I'm going to show you exactly why right now. So why do you need social media, right? For one, 95% of young adults follow a brand via social media networking, right? And if you think about that, the number of users before the end of 2018 will be up to 2.5 billion. That is huge, right? 95% of young adults. That's like me giving you a whole pizza and you only being able to eat one slice. Like, who only wants one slice, right? There's a bunch of pizza here. So you want a piece of that pie. You need to get in on the 95% of the young adults, right, that are on social media, that are following brands, as well as get a hold of a piece of those 2.5 billion people that will potentially be on these social media platforms through 2018. Another reason is that the average consumer, and not only are those 2.5 billion there, but their average of them are spending about 2 hours a day, right, total on various different social media platforms. And if you really think about this, I would say that I've had to literally delete social media off my phone in order to refrain from using it at one point, right? Even to this day, I still don't have a Facebook on my phone. So you just want to think about that as well. 92% of people say peer endorsement has the greatest influence on purchases, right? We don't want something until somebody else already has it. And we're going to get into that more in the buyer thought process. But in reality, if you really think about it, um, if someone is posting about, hey, this new gadget or this new product, think about like the spinners, right? Spinners, those spinner thingies, they like blew up because everybody was all over social media using them, showing you how they use them, showing different tricks about them, right? 92% of people are basically saying that I will buy it if I see someone on social media buying it. And last but certainly not least, another reason why you need social media is the companies are expected to spend $19.3 billion on social media advertising in 2018. If any company, if the biggers and the greaters are all willing to pay $19.3 billion collectively into this one stream of advertising, that says something. That says that you need to get a piece of that pie, as I said before. That also says that you may want to make yourself available to not only these brands, if you are an influencer, but you also want to make yourself available to all the people that's interested in these brands, right? And if these brands are paying social media to show up in certain places on social media, why wouldn't you want to infiltrate yourself and get a piece of that action and get onto the try? So the number one, right? But the number one reason as to why you need social media is to reach a business goal. We all have goals, right? We all have goals, whether it's in life, we have goals in our personal lives, and we have goals in our business. But do we think about social media specifically as something that we want to achieve a goal from? So we all start off, right, and saying, yeah, I need social media, right? Or everybody's telling you as a business owner, yeah, you need to get on social media. But why? What is your reason for wanting to get on social media? You have to have a reason. And if you don't have a reason, then everything's going to mess up, right? You're not going to be consistent because you have no reason to be there. You're not going to make a following or have a consistent community because now your followers have no reason to be there. You have to have a goal with your social media, right? That's the number one reason why you need social media. And in setting a goal, there are specific type of goals that you want to accomplish. So I'm going to just run off a few and kind of give you guys some examples of how to do that. For this portion, I suggest that you like take out some notes and maybe jot down some ideas. And I definitely want you to think about which goal more so sits with you, and we're gonna do that in a minute. So you want to think about certain goals like increasing awareness, right, with your current customers. If I am a mom and pop restaurant, right, and I want to show everyone like the deals that we have on happy hour, right, or even actually increase awareness with your current customers. There's a lady called the Spice Suite, right? And she sells spices from all over the world. And she updates on Instagram when she has a new spice in. That's creating that awareness for your current customers. But you can also gain new customers, right? You can use that same social media platform to connect to new people. So not only are people now coming to her page for spices if they're a current customer and they can see an update of, oh, she just got this new spice in from Morocco, but she's also able to connect with new people who may have an interest in Moroccan spice, right? You also want to think about strengthening, and through that you are strengthening that relationship. But what if you don't sell anything? What if you're just like a hair salon, right? Or and I mean, like, not a physical product when I say if you don't sell anything, because I know that hair salons sell things. I mean, what if you don't? What if you're a service-based business, right? You really want to think about social media and use that as a goal to strengthen relationships with your current customers, right? You want to be able to strengthen relationships, and through doing that, you can also use it to receive feedback from those customers. Hey, what do you guys think about this? Like right now, actually, on my social media, I am building a business in front of my Insta stories. Not only does it help my engagement, because my engagement has went up over 1,000% since I have started on this Insta story journey with Build It Bossy, but it also allows me to get feedback from my customers. What do you guys want to see? Right? What do you want to know more about? Like right now, I'm finding out and I'm learning that you guys want to know more about branding. You want to know more about how do I set up a social media? How do I not just set up a social media page, but how do I make it look consistent? Right? How do I make sure that my colors and my logo and my fonts are all consistent? Right? So I'm creating a branding class. I would have never thought to do that had I not received that feedback from my customers. You also want to promote specific business strategies. So again, for me in social media, I'm using that Build It Bossy, where I show people how to build a drop shipping business, to promote a specific business strategy, right? I am promoting not only using live and using social media and the power of social media live, but I'm also promoting how to do drop shipping, right? Like that's a type of business that maybe a lot of my followers have never explored, or maybe have thought about or heard about, but I'm exposing it and I'm promoting it more. You also can use your social media to, of course, increase sales either online or in person. And it's really important that you do this through call to actions, but that you don't overdo it, right? Nobody wants to be sold to on social media. We don't get on social media so that we can be sold to, right? It really has to be subtle. You also can increase foot traffic if you have a physical storefront. So I see people who use social media for events, right? Or for clubs, or for bars, or for parties. And it's huge in being able to cultivate a large following of people to come to one event, right? It's a nice, simple location. It's almost like a website in a way, right? You put the flyer, you put the details, you put the time, people come in. Um, and social media has almost grown to be somewhat, or act somewhat of a website, like a website for a lot of those physical storefront businesses. A funny story is, and one time I recently moved, and in the middle of me moving, I recently moved, and through me moving, I had to, I was looking for a hardware store. So, looking for a hardware store was pretty hard for me to do at first. I'm gonna just, hey, it's me again. Looking for a hardware store. I was new to the neighborhood. I knew nothing about the neighborhood. I knew nothing about what I was supposed to be doing, right? And I'm looking for a hardware store. So, of course, I'm a millennial. I go onto my phone and I'm like, hardware store, where do I find that, right? So I start looking, and I moved to Jersey. So coming from a Brooklyn girl moving to Jersey, it's like, I don't drive currently. So it was pretty difficult for me to be like, okay, well, where can I find a hardware store? So I ended up finding one. I get all the way there. I get what I need to get. On the way back, right, I literally see a hardware store across the street from me. Like, I didn't even have to Uber. I didn't have to do any of that stuff. So another day I ended up having to get another key made, right? For my partner. So I go into that hardware store and I say, you're not showing up when I Google you, when I look to Google you. I literally, he was like an older Hispanic guy who, probably knows nothing about like Google ads or Facebook or anything like that. But I like explained to him, like, you're losing so much money from not being on social media. You're losing so much money from not being on Facebook. Like, you just lost my quick coin, right? And that was when I first moved here. It is so important that you're not only on social media, but that you're, even if you're a physical location and you feel like most of your business comes from foot traffic, to not be opposed to social media. I cannot stress that enough. I've even had business owners who've been in business for years, right? And things in neighborhoods change all the time. Foot traffic changes all the time, right? It's really, really, really important that you as a business owner, you make yourself easily accessible and visible to all eyes, not just the ones that are in your neighborhood. Remember, there's traveling people, there's people who move newly to your neighborhood, etc., etc. So that's my spiel, right? And that's really the reason as to why I wanted to kind of like take that time and like explain that story to you guys, because it's so 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 important, even if you have a physical location, right? All right, so now we're gonna get back into it, and the another last reason basically as to why you want to set this business goal. It can be, we kind of discussed, is to establish or to protect your business's reputation, right? If you are a single individual person, this may even be um, even more of something that you really truly want to do, right? Because if you think about it, you want to protect, as an individual, your reputation, who you are. I see music artists do this. I see models. Um, I mean, even I do this as a teacher, right? I want to seem reputable with what I do. I want to seem reputable with my students. I want to seem reputable with anybody who I'm talking to. And if usually, what is the first thing that people are going to do? Look for your Instagram, look for your Facebook, right? First thing that, child, I can't tell y'all how many people I hear a first and a last name. I'm on you, looking for you on Google instantly. I'm looking for your LinkedIn. I'm looking for your Facebook, because that's what's going to determine to me what type of clout you got, what type of respect you get, right? And how much and how are you established, right? And what lengths do you go to protect that reputation that you represent? So again, I want you to take some time out. Think about your business, what kind of business you have. And I want you to choose 2 to 3 of those business goals, right? I want you to choose 2 or 3 of those business goals. And then we're going to move on to now connecting these goals and how you can actually achieve them. So I'm going to give you a quick example as you think about that for me, right? We are creating a cool inflatable business on the Build It Bossy platform, where I'm showing you guys my Insta story for Build It Bossy. Follow me on Instagram, by the way, starting STARTING, Bossy, BOSSY. Um, and basically, I have an Insta story show where I show you guys how to build a drop shipping business. So it's been really fun so far. We're voting on like the company colors right now. We've already voted on like the name, the type of business. We're going to vote on the logo. So literally, I'm taking you guys through the first step to the very, very last step in starting this business. And with me being able to do that, through that, the two goals that I have is to, one, connect with new customers, right? Connect with new customers, and I want to increase my sales online. Those are the 2 reasons as to why it is a product based business. It is mainly a shop, right? So I'm not, for me, I want to strengthen like if it was starting Bossy social media, I want to strengthen relationship with my current customers, right? Or that's what I want to do for me personally, for my business, for starting Bossy. But for this other type of business, Pool Inflatables, right? I want it changes, and I want you guys to be clear on how that changes, right? Me starting Bossy Sadea, I want to connect and strengthen relationships with my current customers and connect with new customers. Whereas a store, a drop shipping Shopify store, they may just want to connect with new customers and increase their sales online. So it's really important that you understand what type of goal you want to hit when running your business. I'm going to give you literally 60 seconds to write down right now the 2 goals that you want to achieve for your social media. I should do like some Jeopardy music. All right. So I hope you got to do that. And now what we're going to do is we're really going to get my buyer to your goal, right? So you just wrote down 2 goals, 2 or 3 goals that you wanted to achieve. You wrote down what you want to do or where you want to go. Now it's time to get your buyer to your goal. How do we do that, right? We do that using the buyer thought process. And for me, the buyer thought process is very, 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 very specific, right? It's clearly laid out. Here it is. This is the buyer thought process. And you really want to think about your sales funnel. Now, follow along with my mouse to fully allow me to explain this, and for you to truly grasp this concept, right? All right. So, one, it starts with the awareness. When you think about it, right? You want to have your awareness is here. How much are you aware, right? This is when the customer becomes aware of what you have, right? This is also called a discovery type of client. So you create that awareness, or they're just now discovering you, right? These are unknown leads. The these are just people that are from social media challenges. Awareness. Now I am aware of your brand. I am aware that you have this product. I am aware that that this exists, right? Then you go from awareness to interest. So from awareness, I'm aware of it, but now I may have an interest. An interest is simply like, and I'm thinking, and I'm talking like interest is literally like, let's say, a like. People take interest too much. People think that, like, people are interested just because they commented. That's just like, I'm just like into it, right? That's called a passive fan, or even sometimes like active fan. And the difference is, for me, between those two: passive fans, they like and they comment; active fans, they share. And for me, it's really just that simple, right? Active fans are actively sharing and commenting and talking back to you. Passive fans are just gonna tap the photo and keep it moving because they simply just like what you have to offer, right? So those are passive versus active fans. And at this point, the fan is still just showing interest, right? They're only just showing interest. Now you want to get them to consider you, right? So you made them aware, you've made them interested in you. Now you want them, because you consider things before buying them, don't you? We weigh things out all the time in our buyer thought process. We weigh out, should we get green or yellow or blue or red, right? Or small or size large, right? Or we lay out, should I even do the overnight shipping or the 1 week shipping? We lay things out and consider so much before we actually make a purchase, that consideration is now a step, right, for us. There are now marketing tactics to solicit someone in the consideration uh, part, or part of the buyer thought process, right? And with that, it's really showing intent. If someone emails you or DMs you, that's intent, right? If someone is, and I'm not saying that all of them, but they're considering it. If I DM you or email you about a paid product, I may be considering buying it, right? I'm not just liking the product. I'm really genuinely going from not just sharing it as an active fan. I'm going in a little bit further, and I'm actually going to show some intent that I actually want, and I may want to purchase this. Then you have this lovely purchase part, right? And that's actually when they buy something, right? So it's the same both ways. It's the same, right? It's the same for you as your purchase. It's the same for the type of fan that you'll value them as. And last but not least, that fan or you, there's a referral part, right? So I've considered you, I've purchased this, I love you so much. I want to refer you to someone else. And that is when they not only purchase, but they actually begin to share what you have to offer. So if you think about it, referring someone, if I am referring someone, I love the product, right? I am vouching. Going back to the stats, right? We remember 92%, I think it was, right, of people are only going to buy something if their friends are recommending it on social media. So obviously, you want to get somewhere down to this spectrum, right? You want to get all the way somewhere down here. And all of this is all going to come into play. And you want to think about how exactly are you using this and posting this, right? So different social medias are going to get you different type of actions, of course, right? It's going to give you different type of consideration, different type of purchases, different type of referrals. However, it's for you to really take your buyer through their thought process in making them aware of your brand, then letting them show interest, right? Having them to consider the product or service that you have to offer, actually purchasing the product or service that you have to offer, and then talking about the experience that they had on what was offered. Noticing that things have changed when I said they're aware of your brand, not aware of your products and services yet. They're only aware or interested in either you or the business type itself. However, yet they are not yet considering anything because they barely got to know the products and services. It is your social media's job to figure that out. And we're going to get a lot more into that in a minute. But first, Now that we know the buyer thought process and the layers that we're going to get our buyer to, let's get a little bit more into the actual product, right? Or the actual buyer, right? So, in order to choose the right platform, and we're going to talk about this a little bit, but in order to choose the right platform, you genuinely need to define who your audience is, right? You can't choose the right platform if you don't know where the people or what type of people you want to reach and where they frequent on which platform. That's just the bottom line. So you need to know three things about your audience. One, the demographics. Where are they located at? Are they female? Are they male? How old are they? Right? Like, and I'll give you, and I'm going to walk you through a really good example right after this. Location, right? I'm thinking of a location can be, are they in the U.S.? Are they in the UK? Right? Are they like where are they from? Because that will help me in my targeting for my social media, right? And their interests. And when they say interest, it doesn't just mean are they interested in your product or what you have to offer. Remember, you haven't made them aware of your product yet. So you want to think about what interests these group of people that will lead them into being interested in your product. And we're going to go through this as an example right now. So, for example, if I needed to define my audience for the, again, going back to the starting bossy, the building bossy business, that I am showing you guys over on my Insta stories. That business is a pool inflatable business. You guys voted for a pool inflatable business, and I'm gonna come back to life for a minute as we do this. But you guys voted for a pool inflatable business. So a pool inflatable business is going to have, for one, right? You guys voted for the pool inflatable. So the pool inflatable business demographics, right? And I mean like Pluto, like the swans and stuff like that. Like we've kind of discussed this over on thing, but just to give you a gist of what type of business I'm talking about and what type of business we are truly defining an audience for. So the type of business is a pool inflatables, floaties type of business, right? Demographics. Who likes floaties? Teenagers, children, moms, people going on vacation, hot chicks, right? Do you want to? I want, what I'm gonna do is I'm literally gonna just brainstorm this whole thing in a book, right? I literally take a notebook, okay, write it down, and I literally just write down all of my ideas that come. So demographics, who are those people? What do they look like? Well, how age? Do I see a 60-year-old on a floaty? No, unless she the Batty Van Winkle lady. But no, what age do I see on a floaty? I see anywhere from maybe like, and if I do the kids floaties, then I can do like 6 maybe, or even younger than that. So anywhere up to like maybe 30, 35 as being on floaties. So now you're able to really craft on, okay, where are those people at, right? I'm already beginning to think in my brain. If when I want to reach the girls and things like that, I'll probably go to Instagram. But if I want to reach moms who are buying floaties for their children, I'm going to go to Facebook because a lot of moms are on Facebook. Not saying they're not on Instagram, but I know that a lot of moms are on Facebook, right? So you want to begin to start to build out your audience. And as you begin to define who your audience is, it's going to begin to tell you what type of social media platforms you should be on. Another example, the location, right? So if you think about it, pool floaties. I want it's freezing in New York right now. So if I truly wanted to build this business, I would have to focus on places where it's nice. Period. Places where people have pools. Where do people have pools? In California, right? Or down south, right? In the south, southern. So I would definitely find places that has nice weather, right? I would find places that people want to buy floaties and that type of stuff for. And then I would then be able to say, okay, well, I'm going to craft my social media to more so go for this type of demographic. And then lastly, interest. Okay. So for a pool inflatable business, what type of interest will those type of people have that will then lead them to my business? And this is so important, guys. And you're going to see why this is so important when we get to session 4. But in session 4 is when you're going to really craft your captions and all that stuff. This stuff is important because this is telling you who you're talking to, right? So, what kind of interest? So, I'm thinking for a pool inflatable business, you have in inflatable business as a customer, you would want to be into like travel. You would want to be into swimsuits. You may really be into toys and like really nice toys and games and that type of thing. You may, I'm just thinking of things that will make somebody into or lead somebody to a pool floaty. If I'm looking for bikinis, 9 times out of the 10, I'm looking for a pool floaty, right? I mean, 8 times out of the 10, right? I'm looking for a pool floaty. So you want to think about what are those things that's going to help you craft or define your audience that's then going to help you to choose the right platforms, right? And I'm going to show you a little bit more about choosing the right platform right now. But I really wanted to leave you guys with that. Okay, so you want to think about choosing your networks, right? And what I mean by this is here's a nice little cheat sheet of all the different platforms, and each platform has different characteristics, and I'm gonna not really read off of this, but I'm gonna kind of like show you the different characteristics, and depending on what those characteristics are, that may be what type of business you want to go on to, right? And follow with me on this one. Facebook, right? Facebook is messaging, videos, right? Showcasing, right? It's like a mini website of a sort. Remember when I talked about like an event? I can have an event on website. I can use Facebook as like a mini website. I can put my events on there, my pictures. People can take pictures. I can have like call to actions. People would want to buy things from there. So there are so many different things that you can even do when it comes to using Facebook as a sort of like a mini website, right? It also has mass appeal, right? And it's really custom consumer minded because it's only, but according to the algorithm, going to show you things that you are just genuinely really interested in. The same would go for your clients, right? Your clients are only going to see things that they are genuinely really interested in. So that's really important for you. Next would be Twitter. Twitter is really messaging and commentary. So think about it. For a pool floaty business, it ain't much to talk about. I won't have much to tweet about, right? If you really truly think about it. So Twitter is good for like a personality if you wanted someone to get to know you. A Twitter is probably good for like giving out information, educational. Twitter is probably really good for like customer service if you're building, like maybe once this gets really, really big and the pool floaty business blows up, I can use this pool floaty business to then maybe use Twitter as a customer service way, right? Like, oh, tweet us if you want more immediate customer service reactions. I don't know. I don't like that idea, but whatever, right? YouTube. YouTube's like news, right? Products and demos. If I want to showcase something or people, I would use YouTube. That's why makeup artists use YouTube, right? Or Instagram, right? You're not going to find like a makeup artist for the most part. They may be on there as a personality, but you're not going to find them spending a lot of their time starting off on Twitter because you can't see their makeup on Twitter. You won't know what type of makeup artist they are. Pinterest and Instagram are for photos, right? Events and products if you want to promote something or showcase something. So it's really important for you to know the difference between your messaging platforms, which are more so like a Twitter, somewhat Facebook, LinkedIn, than your more visual platforms like YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram. These are all really, mainly, those are all the ones that you would really like to show, right? All right. How not to depend on social media. Now that you have gotten your social media platforms down pat and you have chosen the correct platforms for you and your peoples, you definitely need to know you need it, but you can't depend on it. And what I mean by that is, and I've been stressing this whole course through, but I'm really going to truly try to bring it home for you guys, is that we got to create this 80-20 rule. And what I mean by 80-20 rule is, I mean that 80% of your content on every social media platform should just be for awareness and interest. Just for awareness and interest, whether it's sharing a piece of news, whether it's sharing a meal, a photo, whether it's sharing the behind the scenes, even if it is just showing the product. I don't want you to mention in the caption a price. I don't want you to mention in the caption, come by. 80% of that content should just be here, look at this, right? Here, look at this. Let me know if you like it. If you like it, you will like my photo. If you like it, you will comment on my photo. If you like it and you love it, you will share, right? If you're truly interested, going through the buyer thought process again, right? If you are truly interested, then you will buy. However, 20% of that should be for sales. And when I mean for sales, I mean only to express what the features and benefits to the customer will be of whatever you're trying to sell. So 80-20 rule. One more time recap, right? 80% of the content that you post on your social media should be mainly focused, right? You can't depend on it. So 80% of that stuff should be focused on awareness, interest, I'm just putting it out there for y'all to know. 20% of it should be about your products and services that you have to sell, but should not include selling in the caption or on the post. Your goal is to funnel to the other platforms and then sell. What I mean by that, your social media platforms should introduce your products themselves, the website, customer service, email funnels, and all other parts of your business. That's what should be selling, right? So it makes no sense as to I see businesses who promoting on Instagram every day. You're promoting a new product on Instagram. What is your website there for, right? If I have to tell you the price on Instagram, there's a problem. You shouldn't be telling customers prices on Instagram. You need to get them over to your website and let the website do the selling. Never tell a customer the price on Instagram, right? You need to funnel them over to your website. Your goal is to just make them aware and then to funnel them off later on. Okay. And I am going to honestly end there, guys. I hope that getting your mindset together with me today was really beneficial. Tomorrow, on the 13th, we are going to go through the setup and we're going to really talk about how exactly you can set up your social media pages. I'm actually going to walk you through setting up for the business that I've been kind of using as the example. It's called Swim God. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to set up that social media pages tomorrow. So I'm going to set up the Instagram, the Facebook, and Twitter. And we're going to kind of talk about some other social media platforms. But to come to prepare tomorrow, please come prepared. Make sure that you are bringing your social media pre-homework. One, check out tomorrow's agenda. Make sure that you are aware of what time we're starting, as well as what's going to be covered. For two, have a professional business name and email address. It's really important. You cannot start an Instagram, Facebook without a business name or an email. And then lastly, come prepared with your logo because you will be having to put your logo, not lastly, I'm sorry, but you will be having to put your logo on the pages that we create. So I would like it if you have your logo handy. If not, I'll show you how to create something really, really quick and cute in Canva. And last but not least, come prepared writing down any questions that you may have. I know that we are covering a lot. People tell me that I talk fast sometimes. It may be the New York accent sometimes. I don't know. But I have been told that it goes by pretty fast sometimes. So I do, I want you guys, I really want you to feel empowered to ask questions and come prepared with questions if you really needed some. All right. And that's it for me. I am going to tell you guys bye bye. That's it for me, guys. Thank you for participating. Um, and yeah, see you tomorrow. Adios.